pure energy coming from you.
You know, we can postpone this. We have movies in the bank.
It's true. Let's just get this over with.
All right, fine.
Well,
I didn't want to watch Survivor.
Welcome to the Movies with Chill podcast. I am your host, Chill. Today we'll be reviewing What Maisie Knew from 2012. What Maisie Knew is a contemporary drama directed by Scott McGehee and David Siegel, written by Carroll Cartwright and Nancy Doyne, based on the book What Maisie Knew by Henry James.
From what year? It's like 1890 or something like that.
It's crazy old.
Yeah.
Starring Onata Aprile, just a little girl. Julianne Moore, Alexander Skarsgård, Joanna Vanderham, and Steve Coogan. 6-year-old Maisie is in the middle of a custody battle between her neglectful parents and their new partners. As always, I am joined by David and Lee. How you boys doing tonight?
What's up?
Oi.
And for the fourth time?
Yeah, because she gets a coat next time.
Oh, that's right.
So does Annie.
So does Annie. That's right.
So honored.
You're now a four-banger.
Yep.
I'll just coin that one.
Yep.
There you go.
Before we get into this, though, have we watched anything new this week?
Yeah, Calvin, what are we watching this week?
We watched season 3 of The White Lotus.
Sure
What'd you think? I haven't watched it yet.
Piper, no! No, Piper!
Yeah.
Tsunami!
Tsunami.
Tsunami! Has anyone seen my lorazepam? And let me tell you, one of the greatest monologues I've ever heard.
He won't let it go.
Greatest monologues I've ever heard from
A character
Yeah.
we will not name.
And it's about, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's about Asian girls.
Mm.
And good God, oh my God, I've never laughed harder. I was crying. I was straight up crying.
Watch this.
You're going to love it.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
Especially
It
who
is.
delivers the monologue.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
going to love
Quite
it.
Yeah.
the scene.
Yes.
Quite the scene.
I'll just let you know now, when you're watching the show, up until basically that episode,
Yeah.
you don't see the guy
No.
that
Okay.
delivers
It's
the
a
line.
guest
Okay.
star for the
Oh,
last
cool.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
Top
anyway.
notch. Top
Top
notch.
Top notch.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Talk,
good.
I'm talking
It was pretty good.
S tier actor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Chelsea, would you agree?
Yeah, I love him.
So
Yeah.
you're going to have to agree.
Yeah.
Chelsea, have you watched anything without Calvin?
Oh,
I know you're not watching cartoons unless you're forced to, so...
No, she definitely is watching anime.
I watched a K-drama, and I enjoyed that.
House lies.
I don't understand what goes on over here.
I don't know. It's a weird
Like,
nipple
I-
twisting.
like- their
Watched
best-
K-drama.
They can't live without Crunchyroll.
We can't.
Well, I didn't watch it on Crunchyroll. I watched it on Netflix.
But still, your family would not survive without Crunchyroll.
100%.
Correct? Wouldn't you say
I
so?
don't know if we watched it all that much the last month.
Logan and I have.
Oh, well, I have not.
Oh my god.
And I was watching some stuff on Prime last night, so I watched like teenage romance movie and
Well, what was the movie we were watching on Netflix?
Oh, you're talking about Netflix, and we're talking about Crunchyroll.
I just want to talk.
Logan always comes in with the lines, though, and
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Dave Lee.
Not anything new since last
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
I'm
Yeah.
still stuck on that game I was talking about, Blueprints.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I've been
just-
playing my handheld a lot.
I might have bought one.
You might have.
Yeah.
Oh, how is it?
It's well, I got it all updated today, and
Takes forever.
But I downloaded Blueprints on it at work, and I love that it synced to my
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft account. So I
Oh,
just
yeah.
started playing it.
It's
And I
nice.
was like, I can't play this at work. I got to put this down.
Battery sucks, but it's nice.
Yeah, I had the charger with me, so I just sat with it plugged in.
gosh, I don't even know where Logan
Can get
is.
hot.
Where is
Well,
Logan's?
I have the settings on it to where the battery won't charge past 80. It'll shut it off.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to help with the battery. I watched some video, and he told me all the settings to put in.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool. GTA 6 trailer.
The new one?
Yeah,
I mean, it looks amazing.
it does. It looks crazy.
I just can't. I mean, my God, they pushed it back another year.
Yeah.
I love the top comment on that was, I got married and divorced before this game came out. I'm like, wow.
Well, you know,
It's been
a rushed
14
game
years,
is always
right?
crap. A
14
delayed
years.
game will eventually be good.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I hope that that's what they're doing because they're talking about it being just sandbox crazy to where you can create your own servers and you can be a mob boss on your server and people can come in and work for you. And,
That's cool.
yeah, I just think it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to change gaming.
Or I was listening to somebody talk about it, and they're like, this game is going to impact the entire world. There's going to be so many people that call in on that day. There's going to be people that literally lose their jobs and their relationships over this game that's coming out. And I'm like, facts.
Factory.
Maybe a few.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's get into what Maisie knew.
We
So-
have to.
Yeah. So, Chelsea, why did you pick what Maisie knew for Mother's
Yeah,
Day?
why?
Yeah, why?
Why, Chelsea?
Why, Chelsea?
Why did you pick
Why
this
did you
movie?
pick this for Mother's Day?
Why did you make me feel?
Why?
I didn't realize that it was lining up with Mother's Day.
Yep, this is the
So
Mother's Day
that's my
episode.
excuse. But to be fair, when I watched it the first time, I was pregnant with Logan, working overnights in a domestic violence women's shelter. And spoiler, I watched movies when I wasn't getting calls.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was this one on
And-
repeat at the shelter?
Yeah.
And I was like literally 7 months pregnant when I watched it with Logan. So there's my tie-in with Mother's Day.
There you go.
I don't know. I watched it and I loved it and I felt like it had such a good message. And honestly, technically, it's kind of a good pick for Mother or Father's Day because it's a good little reminder of like,
Hey, you had a
This
kid
is-
and that's permanent.
this is
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just really liked the movie. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely real.
it
Yeah.
really is.
A little too real.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, is that I really liked the way that the movie was shot from her perspective.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
every single scene is just her reaction. So, like, you can have people talking in the background, and it is important to the dialogue, but it's just from her perspective. So she's just coloring or,
She has
just doing
no
whatever.
idea.
Yeah.
No idea. And it kind of makes you think like the moments that they capture for her are very, I feel like, typical things that kids would latch onto. Like if I think about my own childhood, I'm going to be thinking of random times that I was with my dad looking at a doorway. Or, just like the times that they chose were so impactful, but also for a kid, you can understand why she obviously doesn't understand what's going on and not picking up on anything. But in a subtle way, she is. She picks up on how they feel.
By the end of it, she picks up on all of it.
Yeah, there's
but-
so many times in the movie where like she picks up on their interactions and how they talk about each other. The one that pops out to me the most is when the dad throws the flowers away that the mom sent her, and so she immediately is like, okay, they don't like each other. He doesn't want me to have these flowers,
And we'll
so I need
get
to
into
hide
it.
them in my closet.
So, what was the first time you guys watched this movie?
Saturday.
Sunday.
Mine was last week, Monday.
I had never even heard of this.
I had
movie.
neither.
Me either.
Our icebreaker this week is what's your favorite childhood memory? Yeah.
Christmas morning, 19, I'm going to say 80.
I'm going to say 85, maybe 86. It was the year we got the NES.
Yeah.
Like, what a great Christmas. I mean, we just all day
It
played
might
that
have been
thing.
79. I got the Death Star playset.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Death Star playset, an X-Wing, a TIE fighter, and like 5 or 6 more action figures.
Yeah.
Never got the Millennium Falcon, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great.
But NES was
yeah.
a big impact on me
Yeah.
in my childhood.
And adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still play the NES.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know you can get emulators on that.
Oh, yeah, baby. I know.
Let me know if you get them to work.
Okay. I will.
Favorite childhood memory? That's a hard one. When I was young, my grandparents had a farm that they bred horses and trained horses on. So, I don't know, just being Logan's age, running around, watching horses and climbing up on gates and in hay bales.
Nice.
That sounds like a fun childhood.
Very Norman
Plus,
Rockwell.
It was over in Kansas.
And you ruined it.
Oh my
Calvin?
gosh. So when I was 9, my mom and dad took me down to Disney World, okay? And it just so happened to line up with one of the space shuttle takeoffs, right?
Oh, dope.
And so we spent the day, we went to watch it take off. And then we waited there for like 4 hours and then it got delayed.
Scrubbed.
So then we got the next day, they're like, oh yeah, it should be better weather like a day or two later. And we went and we spent like 4 or 5 hours, delayed again. So then we go back to the hotel, we're crashed and I was just so tired and I laid down and then I remember my dad waking me up and being like, it's taking off, and literally he picks me up with one of his arms. It's 2 or 3 in the morning, and he's literally running down the hotel hallway with me in his arm, and I'm just like trying to wake up, and it's like craziness, and then somehow he's able to get us to the roof of this hotel, and we're able to see this, you know, rocket take all off, and so we got to see it right then and there. And
That's so awesome.
I will never forget that. So.
Can you imagine being picked up like that now and just carried underneath someone's arm?
No, I know.
It would hurt so bad.
No, thank you.
So, and I wasn't like little. I was, 9 or 10 years old. So,
Yeah, good
anyway,
times.
Well,
good
Maisie's
times.
is probably the boat ride. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not the bar, sitting at the bar.
Man, that made me so mad.
Well, let's talk about the movie before we get into spoilers.
Let's.
It has a runtime of 99 minutes. It premiered September 7th, 2012 at Toronto International Film Festival with a wide release date of May 3rd of 2013. Had a budget of $5 million and it grossed $2.7 million. Top box office for May of 2013. Any guesses?
12 years ago.
Yeah.
What was it? 2013?
Yep. May.
Iron Man.
I have no idea.
Number 1, Iron Man 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey. 2, Star Trek Into Darkness.
Okay.
3, Fast and Furious 6.
Oh God.
4, The Great Gatsby.
Okay. I like that
5,
movie.
The Hangover Part 3.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
6, Epic. 7, Pain and Gain.
Oh.
8,
It's
42.
The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah.
9, Oblivion. 10, The Croods.
I liked Oblivion.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked Oblivion too.
I like the roots too. The
Yeah.
first one's good.
And any guesses for what Maisie knew?
It did not make the
29th,
list.
47th.
45th.
Was it even in theaters?
Yeah.
2.
Two of them.
Select theaters?
It is in 122 theaters.
That's because no one wants to put themselves through this kind of movie. Everyone should be forced to watch
I
this
do.
movie.
I agree.
This is a watch it at home kind of movie.
This is a movie that everyone
Well, that's
should
why-
see, but don't.
I would have been
Think you're gonna-
surprised if it was in theaters because with it being an indie film, like, you're not going to get a whole lot of traffic in that theater.
Right.
It's not a big box
Let me tell you.
office one. More suitable to watch at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even thought that it was in theaters.
Had I taken my woman with me to go see that movie, we would have left in the middle of it because I would have felt bad for leaving my kids at home.
This is kind of a movie you watch by yourself. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
Or
That
you
way
show
really
your
is.
kids.
you can feel by yourself. And because Jalissa and I watched this, and I was telling you, like when it ended, she just went, well, like, all right.
I think you should make your kids watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is how good you had it.
See how good you have it?
Yeah.
Bastards. They drop you off at a bar somewhere.
Right.
I had to watch it.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Poor
Facts,
guy.
yeah,
Poor
facts
guy.
about the movie, no spoilers. In an interview with NPR Fresh Air, Julianne Moore said that she drew on Courtney Love and Patti Smith for inspiration for her character in this movie, who is like Love and Smith, a rock star who is also a mother. So,
Burn.
I know.
I love Julianne Moore.
She was great. Yeah, her performance was great.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with the performances in this movie whatsoever.
No.
Working with a 6-year-old actress, Onata, meant that the crew had to do most of the filming before her bedtime. However, during a scene that had to be filmed at night, she fell asleep and could not be woken up, and the scene had to be shot 2 weeks later.
Wow.
That's super cute.
She's such
Right.
a diva.
She's so
Right.
adorable, though.
She is so cute.
Joanna Vanderham actually replaced Evan Rachel Wood for that role.
Oh,
Which was kind of crazy.
Interesting.
And then casting for the role of Maisie took 8 weeks. Casting director Ava Kaufman suggested about 100 young girls to McGehee and Siegel, while the directors independently visited New York elementary schools to hold auditions. 6-year-old April auditioned relatively late and was cast 3 weeks before production started.
wow.
Crazy.
Other than that, that's all I got. Do you guys want to talk about anything before we get into spoilers, acting or otherwise?
Well, it's top tier acting.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
no one in this movie that's bad.
No.
Right.
Everybody kills their
They
part.
kill it. It's great. The story it's all really good. It's shot great.
Right.
But damn,
I
right?
know.
I paid money to feel this way.
Nobody does.
I mean, people paid to see Schindler's List, and I would say that that's
I was not one of those people.
Yeah, but that
way
is
more depressing than Little What
That's
Maisie Knew.
historical.
100% agree that it is more depressing, but it also, that's something that people deny happened. There's a whole thing about
That's
it.
craziness. Yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
I'm sure that parents didn't. Oh, you were fine as a kid. What are you talking about?
Right.
You did this.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But I agree with you. I mean, like, I watch Schindler's List. I'll never watch it again. And I said that's the only movie that's ever made me sob like a baby, and I'll never watch that movie again.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch a movie to feel sad and depressed. I don't want that.
I love it. I love it.
That's why we watch
That's-
Queer Eye.
That's why I watch. I like that show, and
I
God
do too.
makes me feel too. And I
I
don't
know.
like it.
I know. Spray, delay,
We were big, like,
walk away.
we were
Feelings
big,
are for the
like,
weak.
Young Sheldon fans, and that final 2 episodes. If they come on, if it's streaming, I'm like, no.
No.
Take it off. Put something else on. I hate it.
Feelings are for the weak.
I
Yeah.
agree. No one has time for that.
So, would you guys recommend people watch this?
No.
And
No.
who would you recommend
Nobody.
watch this
I really
movie?
would not recommend.
I'll tell
this
you
movie.
what.
I
I would
already
recommend-
recommended it.
I would recommend every new couple that's going to have a child watch this movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I
I
would-
feel like if you're
Every-
with somebody and like you think that
You think you want to have kids? Watch this movie.
watch this movie and think really hard about who the
I know
person
people that act
is,
like this.
and if you want to parent with that person.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just genuinely don't think
I don't
the
know how
words
you
will
do
ever
it.
come out of my mouth. You should watch this movie. I really don't think that I
feel
will
like
ever
it's
tell
gonna
anyone to
happen
watch this
someday.
movie.
So I think that this should be shown in like a home ec class if they still have that. You know what I mean?
Well, not home ec,
Disagree.
but
don't
like
scare people. I mean, no, it should be.
child development.
No,
That's when
like,
you should watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe domestic abuse cases. Watch this movie.
But there really
or-
wasn't any abuse going on.
There's a
other
lot
than,
of mental abuse going on in
other
that
than
movie.
neglect.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of mental abuse, which is a lot of domestic violence. Like, it doesn't have to be physical.
True.
Anyways,
Yeah.
no.
Hurt people.
Yeah.
Hard no.
They really do.
Spoilers on your account, Lee.
Yeah, get after it.
Ooh. But first, trivia. Question 1. Who stays the night at Maisie's house?
Several people?
Well,
Little girl.
yep, the little girl.
Oh, what was her name?
I feel
yeah,
so
she
bad
left.
for her.
Was her name Zoe?
It was.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, Logan knew.
Of course it was. Thought she was
2.
cute.
What time do the doors open at Maisie's school?
8 o'clock.
7:15 or 7:30?
I want to say 8:30.
8:10.
8:10. And she showed up 10 minutes early.
Yeah,
Because
8
she had
o'clock.
to be in court.
What do some people eat at Lincoln's work?
The cherries.
Well, he was talking about a meal
Oh.
that people have. And
Oh,
he's talking
it's
maybe.
steak tartare. It's raw hamburger and eggs.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a raw egg. That's
I did not
correct.
pay attention to that.
No,
Oh
thank
my
you.
gosh. What color is Maisie's swimsuit at the end of the movie? She wears 2, so I'll take any answer. Either one of them.
Pink.
Red.
Red and
Burgundy.
blue. She has a red and a blue one. Question 5. Where does mom have to play at the day Maisie goes on the boat?
Charlotte.
I don't know.
She went to Virginia or
Virginia Beach.
Riley?
Riley?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I just like how you said it. Riley.
Riley. Yep.
Riley what?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry.
Cool. That was a bullshit question.
Bonus question.
You're just digging. You're searching
know.
for questions here.
Bonus question. How many places does Maisie stay over the course of the movie?
4.
That's correct. Mom's, dad's, beach house, and Lincoln's coworker.
Yep.
Yep.
So, let's get into our not so long form discussion.
This movie starts off depressing, is depressing in the
ends
middle, and
depressing.
ends depressed. I give it a B.
He says Survivor starts in 4 minutes, and I'd like to go home.
Chelsea, you're in charge of this one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to lead the way.
We don't have to go through like all the beats. It's
No.
just,
Yeah.
you know.
Set up the beginning.
So I personally feel like the beginning is actually the end, but that's my thought. Based on how she acts towards the little girl in the beginning, it's not a soft side that we see from the mom throughout the whole movie. So I like to think in my head that's actually maybe what she started doing, being more softer and more present with her after the fact. Because when throughout the whole movie do you see her doting on the little girl and playing her music and singing to her? And
Through the divorce, right? Like when she's trying to win her over compared to the dad, right?
I feel like she has her go into the booth with her. But as far as like without anybody there and without an audience and without making a show of this is my daughter, you don't really see a whole lot of that. Like you see the parts where she's like, oh, I missed you, give me kisses.
I kind of disagree with
this. You don't see like
this.
a whole lot of it.
I think that she wants to be a good mom desperately.
Yeah. I
And
think she
she's an
does, too.
extremely selfish person.
Yeah.
This child
That's
is
it.
an accessory to both parents.
But I think that she is aware of it.
Yeah. But she
see-
doesn't
And
want to
she
change.
can't help it.
The reason why I think the beginning is actually the end is because I feel like that ending part where it just clicks with her of I was you. I looked and acted exactly like you. I think that clicked out with her on a certain level, and then maybe that's why we're getting the beginning mom, because then throughout the rest of the movie until the end, you see a pretty self-absorbed person.
Yeah.
Very
Completely.
much so of, I agree that I think she wants her, but I don't think she has the tools to know how or
Agreed.
what that even looks
The
like.
mental capacity.
I think she's
for
a
it.
sociopath to begin with.
Oh, 100%.
I think that she knows this is my daughter and I love her more than anything, but the part of like putting her daughter before her, what does that look like?
She does not understand how to put the child first at anything because that, like I said, that child is an accessory to her, and the appearance of the child to everyone else and her showing that she's doing a good job in front of everyone
Is again just her being selfish.
is her being selfish. And then to the part of her being a sociopath, she had a sleepover for her child so she could get the parents to testify for her. That was the
Well,
only
yeah,
reason they
exactly.
had
I think-
the sleepover to begin with.
I think that what you said, David, I think she wants to be a good mom, and I think she wants people to think that she's a good mom, but what does that actually look like?
Doesn't
And
have a clue how to do it.
How do you
Yeah.
actually do that? And if you don't have the tools in your tool belt, you don't have anything to reflect on, especially from when she mentioned her childhood.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like she even had someone to model that for her. And I think in her own twisted way, she really, really thought she was doing something for her. Like when she got married to Lincoln and she was telling her, I married him for you. I think she really genuinely thought, I'm doing something for my daughter. This isn't for
I think
me.
she
This
did that
is for
to
my
piss
daughter.
the ex-husband off.
He would not be able to have custody of her while she was on the road. Another accessory to
We're
her
just
life.
kind of jumping around right now. I do want to continue this conversation, but I'm just going to quickly run through the
go for
movie.
it. Go.
The movie is all shot from Maisie's perspective, and it's
Yes.
not shot. I think Chelsea's trying to say she doesn't think that the movie is shot linearly, but basically what's going on is that at the beginning of the movie, it's sections of Maisie's life throughout the course of however long this movie is. It starts off with
So-
her and her parent.
So the beginning of the movie starts off with her mom carrying her into the bedroom, laying her down. They have what looks like a little bit of a bonding pre-nighttime routine of they're singing, she gets her guitar, she plays her guitar
You don't get
for
bad
her.
parents in the first 10 minutes of this movie. Like, you don't get that. And it hits you like a bulldozer quick.
Yeah. And so for a long time, I was always so confused because I was like, I mean, you're watching this mom and you're watching her make mistake after mistake after mistake, and you're like, but man, at the beginning of the movie, she really did seem like she cared. And then to me, it felt like, I wonder if that was the end, actually.
What if that's just what Maisie's seen?
Yeah.
Very true. And Maisie, because everything is based off of what Maisie knows, what Maisie sees.
And listen, it is shot beautifully that
Yeah.
way.
The cinematography
background
is
arguments where she's having
beautiful.
fun and humming and coloring, and you can hear him yelling in the background. And it doesn't phase her at all.
Oh,
Like it
the
is
subtle
shot
things.
great.
The subtle things that the parents say to each other, say to their partners, say in
Gaslighting,
front
and
of
it's just
her.
constant.
Yeah.
There's the situations where they're saying that they missed her so much, but what's your dad doing? what's your dad been up to? Did he let you do that? Interesting.
But I think that
I wouldn't
happens
have let you
to
do that.
Normal.
And
all
it's-
divorced people,
exactly.
you know, like
And
there's
how many
always that
people
crap.
can relate
Not
to
all,
that?
some.
I'm sure so many kids that went through divorce can relate to those situations of the parents
Pitting
maybe,
them against
Oh, yeah.
one another.
Putting
maybe
me in the middle.
focusing a little bit more on what's your dad doing, what's your mom doing, what have they been up to, why aren't they doing this, and so I thought that was really powerful too, because a lot of people can understand that. And with her being so little, she's so tiny, and just what she's already having to go through with having two toxic parents.
And so Maisie does have one bright spot, and it is her caretaker, the person that her nanny, basically.
Who's also a very flawed character,
Right.
but not to the extreme of the parents.
No.
She's young and dumb.
Yep.
Over the course of this, the parents get into a divorce, and then it's implied that shortly thereafter, the dad starts a relationship with the nanny.
Right. Gets married. Yeah.
And then the mom finds out about it. She flips and she marries Alexander Skarsgård, who's
Right.
a bartender. He knows
Well,
her
and if we're
through.
being honest, now that I think about it, why else would he be getting married to the nanny unless he thought it was going to help him
Well, I think
Yeah.
that stuff was going
through
on
court and stuff,
prior. Yeah.
make him look?
They don't ever
Because you kind of see
give you
him.
that, but I'm sure that they
Yeah,
were fooling around.
Oh, yeah.
You see him flirting with her, and you see
it in her eyes.
blush
Yeah.
and everything. But then again, you're going off of what Maisie knows.
Yeah.
And what Maisie knows is that she's just trying to eat pizza, and
Yeah.
Dad is being super friendly to
Yeah.
Yeah.
her nanny.
Or the ice cream truck.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Again.
You got $2 for me? I want some ice cream.
Do I have... I might have cash.
Bring back something good.
Here. Get yourself something. Is that enough? You got another dollar over
You
there?
should have $1.
You can't
Here, give
find
it back.
You just threw
Here's a
it.
5.
Here, give it back. Trade me. You got it? Okay. You're good. No, go.
You're good.
Get something.
Hey,
Thanks.
I got kids. I know how it goes.
No, you don't. You have more than enough dollars.
3 should get you something.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Hey, you're going to miss it.
You guys stand out there and wait.
I need 50 cents though.
No, you don't.
Checking the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Checking his room. Money burning a hole in his pocket.
I know, seriously.
Got to spend it right now. Mm-hmm. Hey, he's
Immediately.
helping out the economy.
So then,
Yeah.
the mom marries Alexander Skarsgård.
Who's just a sweet guy.
Yeah.
Not very bright.
Actually, I think he's rather intelligent. He's just not.
He's immature. Just
Yeah.
like, they're both
Yeah.
immature.
Just immature.
Yeah.
Because you hear a lot of the conversations he has. He's
His
a pretty
level
smart guy.
is Maisie's, though. Like, he gets along with her.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
genuinely loves her.
And Julianne Moore's character despised it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get extra points for making her fall in love with you.
Right.
She
Which
gets
is just a
super jealous.
terrible
It was like,
thing to say.
what'd you expect me to do? You want me to be your husband to take care of your child, but you don't want me to bond with your child
Right.
I think
whatsoever.
you've got two people, the nanny and Lincoln, who
Actually care.
haven't had a chance to be obviously in relationships with narcissists. And so then you're having to watch them understand, oh, this is what kind of person you are, and have to come to terms with, you've used me to further whatever agenda you have with court, with your ex, and with your kid. So now I've just been used, and I've cared for this child, and they really put them through it, which really,
It's shitty.
makes you feel for them of like, damn.
And they're always pawning Maisie off on
Yeah.
the nanny and
You
Lincoln.
really start caring for her and Lincoln, like, as the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not even you hope they get together or anything like that. You just care because they care so much for Maisie.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout watching this, you just start despising Julianne Moore.
Oh, my
yeah.
God.
You get so frustrated with her, like, you dumbass. Like,
and you initially, and I
the
was telling-
husband I really was hands in the air about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's not a huge character in this.
No.
He's in it at the beginning. He goes away. He comes
And I
back.
wonder if
He's an
that's-
asshole. He leaves.
That's
Yeah.
and you think about that too, and you're like, oh, he's an absent father. How many people have had to deal with an absent
Yeah.
father? Her memories from obviously throughout the movie is, I see Dad, I'm hanging out with Dad. Dad's saying that he's going on a trip. Dad's gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And Dad comes back, and Dad says he's got to leave again. He's very absent, and the things that...
Hey, let's go to
Italy.
Italy. And like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't even know what he does. It never says what he does. He just is always on his phone.
Job opportunities here, there, everywhere.
Right.
And I think that I was kind of the same way up until there's a conversation where, so his relationship with the nanny degrades to the point where they get in a divorce, right? And then they're gone. And so it's the first time that Maisie is just with dad, like just dad. And they're sitting down, they're eating breakfast or whatever. They're talking about, oh yeah, Dad, I want to go to United Kingdom with you. Can I go with you? And he's like,
sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe I should.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I'll just go to Britain and, oh man, that'd really piss your mom off too. And then he starts rattling on that. And then that's
and then
when
she's like, wait, mommy can't come? And he was like, no, this will be like permanent. And she was like,
done.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. But the dad, you could see, for me anyway, a switch in him like, oh, this would really piss them off if I did this.
But you
what I'm
also
saying?
see it flip back where he's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
He can't raise a child.
To the kid, he can't do it by himself.
Yeah.
Like, what is he getting into? Mm-hmm. And he's just done.
Pulls the chute.
Washes his hands of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Total
I
dick.
think it's well, and you could also argue it's a moment of like the one time that maybe he is doing something
The right thing.
for Maisie,
Yeah.
which you would be taking away from everything she knows. She's a child. You'd be taking her away from her mom. You'd be taking her away from the city that she lives in, her school, her class,
Her friends.
so that you could take her to the UK and you could have her full time. Oh, and you'd be pissing off your ex. So you kind of see that flash of like, oh yeah, this isn't actually a good idea, because even when we go over there, I don't have time to take care of you.
Right.
And I think that's probably also what crossed his mind, is knowing the amount that he invests into Maisie, which throughout this movie wasn't a lot.
No.
It was glimpses here and there, and it's
He just didn't want to take care of her.
he fully utilized that nanny.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he married the nanny.
Yeah.
Because she was already a mom to Maisie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
she
he
was.
blew that.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Beautiful and kind and like, what are you looking for?
I honestly
are you looking for
think-
another Julianne Moore character? Like, what are you looking for in a woman at this point in time?
Right.
'Cause you
I
have both
honestly
ends.
think it was because he was older, because he had the money, that he thought that she would have no
Do anything,
struggles,
yeah.
no questions, no demands. And she did have demands, and it was, treat me like I'm your equal, I'm your spouse. Treat me like I am your spouse, and when you're gonna sign a lease, put my damn name on
Yeah.
it so that I can take care of our home. And just like the lack of respect on his end, which was bare minimum.
Yeah.
There wasn't hardly any. It was, oh, I'm gonna snap my fingers, we're gonna go on a trip. We're gonna go to Italy. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you like me doting on you?
So dad goes to London. Julianne Moore is about to go on tour.
She's
Yeah.
going on the tour. And I
And-
have to say, one of the heartbreaking moments was when they were in New York, and obviously it takes place in New York, but they're going to get the turtle, and mom has been in town and
Yeah.
didn't come and see Maisie.
Or Lincoln, her husband.
And
Yeah.
that's when Lincoln like snaps, and he's like,
'Cause
I
they're
see
just
what kind
Because
of
her
person you are.
her first reaction was, "What are you two doing together?"
Yeah.
Well, they've friended each other because they
they're
bonded over Maisie.
trauma
Yeah.
bonded,
Yeah.
dealing with these, their spouses.
Lunatics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible
who are
human beings.
so toxic and so manipulative
But
the
the thing-
whole movie.
The setup too is that the nanny is upset, and they're just walking together, and they're like, "Well, what were you gonna do?" We were just gonna go get a turtle, right, Maisie? And so Lincoln and the nanny are walking with Maisie, and they're in Chinatown, and then they're having a side conversation about something, and then Maisie just goes, "Mommy!" And then they look over, and the camera pans over, and there's mom, and Lincoln's like, "What the
With
hell?"
some guy
Yeah,
that-
just some random dude, and
Yeah.
she's kind
Just a
of
random
all
dude,
over him,
yeah.
Yeah.
Lincoln's like, "What the hell is going on here? You said you were on tour still. I didn't even know you were in town." "Oh yeah, we came in like last night or 2 or 3 days ago or something."
Yeah.
And you're just like, you were here for how many freaking days, and you didn't even let me
Come
or your
home.
daughter
Yeah.
know that you were here.
Exactly.
Trash.
She's trash.
Yeah.
And
Human
then when
trash.
she has to explain it to Maisie later on when they get the turtle.
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, I didn't know that we were going to be in town. You didn't know you were going to be in New York.
It's your tour.
Yeah.
So there's so many.
Well,
there's
you
so
know
many
she's just full of
times.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's every excuse to do whatever she wants to do.
But Lincoln's gone.
Yeah.
From this point, like
'Cause
he's like
done.
I'm out of here. Yeah.
It's just Julianne Moore and Maisie.
She gets the call, Julianne Moore does, and she was like, I can't do this show right now. Like, I can't do it. And they're like, you have to do the show. You're contracted to do it, and if you don't, we're going to sue you. Mm-hmm. And so this is the worst part of the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the tipping point for me for that character that like, all right,
yeah.
you are a literal human piece of shit. shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And someone should just walk up behind you and put 2 in the back of your skull and call it good.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, she's terrible. She gets her in the car, wakes her up, gets her in the car, and they drive to Lincoln's restaurant/bar. And she goes, "You're going to go stay with Lincoln." She gets her out of the car and she goes, "I'll watch you go in." Drives off, and Lincoln's
And
not even
never
Before
working.
she's even in the door.
Never checks.
Yeah, Lincoln's not even working.
Not even working.
And so the
they
girl...
can't get a hold of him.
No.
I tell you what, if I was the father and I found out about it in England,
Yeah.
I'd catch the next flight to wherever she was to bitch slap her.
Right.
Literally.
I don't think
I
he
would make
cares,
everybody
though.
watch.
No, I don't think he
I
does either.
honestly, I think that piece of information would just be, it wouldn't be, oh, I'm concerned for Maisie's safety. It would be, she's okay. Okay, I'm going to use that to my advantage.
Absolutely.
When we go to the next court date, I'm going to make sure the judge knows she did that, and it will never have been for Maisie's benefit.
Right.
Never.
And what's crazy about all of this is that Julianne Moore is famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have this famous woman's child at the restaurant, and they never talk about, like, I'm surprised it didn't get leaked, or,
Right.
you know, like, there's no publicity.
Well, yeah, 'cause
for
I'm
this.
sure
Maybe she
they-
wasn't as famous as...
She's pretty famous, I think.
I'm sure.
She has a tour bus. I mean, those...
This is also 2012, so it was like...
There has to be a reason why Lincoln is such a good soul. There has to be a reason why he married her, and I don't know if it was maybe starstruck, happy to be in her inner circle.
100%. Yeah.
Just happy
Young
to be
and dumb.
included, glad that she wanted to pay that attention to him, and then gets caught up in parenting, and so the restaurant had to have known. There's no way that he's like marrying a rock star and not talking about
Right.
it.
Right.
And so a waitress, she falls asleep, and a waitress picks her up, and she's like, "I'll just take her home with me." And they're like, "You sure?" And she's like, "Well, yeah."
What else
So
would
else
she
you gonna do?
she falls asleep and wakes up in this strange house. Wakes up. That one guy, I was like, "What the hell?" Like, the waitress seems
Just
like a nice person. You're just
boils
gonna have
my
some
blood.
random guy be like, "Watch out, kid." Like, I was like, "What in the?"
Just boils my blood that she was in the situation to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
So she puts her back to bed. She falls asleep, and
And
the nanny
she's
wakes her up.
not crying for mom.
No.
She's crying for Margot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Margot
Which is
shows
the
up in the
Nana.
morning,
Yep.
picks her up, can't get a hold of anyone, so she takes her to her cousin or aunt's lake
Well,
house.
she
Beach
says
house.
Beach house.
something when they get there. She says, like, what do we do if they don't know? And she said, well, we'll just tell them. So I am kind of, which is one of those things, since it's Maisie's point of view, you don't know who Margot's talked to. We don't know.
Well, she knows where the key is.
Yeah,
So she's
so we
been there
don't
before.
know.
She knows the neighbors, so
Yeah.
there's something.
There's all this behind the scenes stuff where, like, as a parent, you're like, Margot, do they know where you guys are at? Did
Like,
you
are
tell the
you
mom?
squatting?
right?
I'm like, did
well,
you
not only that,
kidnap
does
her?
the mom know where Maisie is
Yeah.
at all?
Care?
Exactly.
I mean, she figures it out because she shows up
Well,
at
she
the beach
obviously
house.
knows where she's at.
You pretty much figure that out because you're like, Margot is a good person. You know, she's flawed, but deep down, she is a good person and she knows the
She's
implications
just young.
of.
I wouldn't even say flawed. She's just young and making those decisions in life to make her a better person.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
And unfortunately, being young and getting into relationships, she
You're
gets
in
into a
over your head.
relationship with the dad and has a very real
Wake up call.
wake up call of how people can use people
Yeah.
and manipulation, and which is sad, but it seems like for her and Lincoln it probably worked out for the best because they were able to create such a genuine
Trauma
friendship.
bonded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They created such a genuine relationship and friendship based off of that.
And up until this point, they've had eyes at each other a little bit, but nothing.
Yeah. It was
Romantic.
like,
You
oh,
You
who
never
are
get
you?
the romantic part
No.
of that at all. And then Lincoln shows up
At the beach house.
at the beach house, and he's walking up the stairs with her, and they instantly kiss.
Yeah.
And Maisie looks back and like smiles.
Yeah.
And
That was
goes,
the only feel good part of the whole damn movie.
yeah.
Well, because you think about it, when
What
has
are they into?
Maisie watched two people
Interact positively.
interact in a relationship in a loving way?
Mm-hmm.
Because even when her parents married these other people, there was no
Yeah,
Her
Maisie had
dad
no
flirted,
idea.
you know. I
Like,
mean,
Lincoln shows up out of nowhere at the school. Yeah, I'm the stepdad. They're like, who?
Who?
yeah.
And he's like, Maisie, you remember me? You remember me from the other
And
night?
Maisie's
Yes.
like, I've seen you one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Do
drunk
you know
on my
this man?
couch.
Yeah.
And poor Margot is like caught in between both parents.
Yeah.
One parent screaming at her, "That's my husband," you know, and the other parent is waiting for her at the airport. He didn't come. He said, Margot,
Yeah.
to go get her from the school.
Ridiculous.
Because she's got to catch her plane
Yeah.
to go to her honeymoon.
So this is probably Maisie's best childhood memory
Yeah.
is the beach house.
For sure.
And how much fun they have at playing in the sand and Lincoln
Swimming
and Margot's
and-
interaction and
Yeah.
the boat
The
rides.
freaking boat ride. I mean, her smile when she's
Before,
running
but before that,
tears you up.
the
Oh
mom
my
shows
God.
up.
the mom
in the
shows
tour
up
bus.
Sure
at
does.
like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, "All right, Maisie,
Yeah.
let's go."
Maisie wakes up, runs down the stairs, runs out, says, "Mommy." She goes, "I have a whole bunch of presents for you." She says, "Let's go." She goes, "You can hang out on the tour bus."
We're going on the boat
I've
tomorrow.
got a babysitter
Can't
with
do
a
it.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, going on the boat."
Yeah, we can't going on the boat.
Yep.
And she goes, "No, come on.
We're
Like,
leaving."
she's like, "We're leaving." And she was like,
I'm
she's
getting
like,
on that boat.
"Seriously?" And this is a moment for Julianne Moore. Like, I think this is the moment that she knows that, like,
Yeah.
She
too
flips-
much. Like, it's happened.
Like, I got anxiety because I'm like, is she gonna flip out on this freaking little girl like she has every other character in the movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Margot and Lincoln are standing, like, on the porch just watching,
Yeah.
like, it happen.
'Cause
Yeah, like, what are they gonna
What can
do?
you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought when
She
this
holds all the cards because that's her mom.
Yep. I thought when this was happening, she reconciled with her and said, "You want to stay here?" And she's like, "Yeah." I thought she was still going to drag her on the bus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she says, "Let's go get your presents." And
Yeah,
I was like,
I was
"Oh
like,
shit!"
that's a
I will
trap.
say the only reason why I didn't think that happened is the music. Something happened in the music where it was kind of like an uplifting.
yeah.
And so I was like, I think it's good.
I have to do that foreshadowing.
And she
Like,
comes
hey,
out
this
with-
is good. This is good.
Yeah, she does. She
Calm
comes out with
down.
a giant ass horse and a guitar. Those are her presents.
It's like,
Yeah.
geez.
It's kind of bittersweet because, like, Macy goes on the boat the next day. She's clearly having the time of her life, but you don't know what further.
Mom's
out
coming
looks
back
like.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's
credits
the
end
worst part.
on the boat. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
So when Mom is done with her tour and comes back and gets her, what does that life
Well, I
now
can
look
tell you
like?
that she now has a forever babysitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go on tour and do this. Lincoln and Margot, can you watch Maisie?
Yeah.
And they're going to say yes.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean,
totally
I
picture
think that there's hope for Maisie. So now I will tell you, I read up on this, and in the book, Mrs. Wicks, who came, the older lady that was the nanny that Julianne Moore hired, that was her mom. So that was her mom she said smelled funny and stuff like that. In the book, that was her mom. And in the book, Margot and Lincoln are just as immature as the parents.
Oh.
And they take
I'm
Maisie.
glad they went a different way.
Yeah,
with
they
it.
take Maisie as like a ha ha ha, and Maisie at the end chooses Mrs. Wicks to live with because she is the most
Reliable.
reliable person.
Yeah.
And so everyone loses out, including Maisie in the book. And I'm like,
glad-
wow, it's an even unhappier book than
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, I'm normally not a fan of people changing books because I'm one of those where, like, if I read it, I want it to be exactly like. I want it to be exactly like what I read. But in this situation, I can assume, like, it just makes sense how they changed it because
It works.
You got to have
Macy-
some likable character somewhere.
Yes, they can't all be assholes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Maisie is a delight.
Yeah.
she is, and she's so sweet and so adorable, and her little laugh
Oh my
throughout
gosh.
the whole movie.
Yeah.
Melts your heart.
The fact that there were times that she was even able to laugh
Yeah.
in the face of, like, all the dark stuff that was surrounding her, like, I mean, I can just imagine what the energy and auras that were coming off of those parents must have felt like in the home.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing that she was able to
Stay herself.
laugh and smile
Yeah.
and play.
Be a child.
And
Yeah.
like, there were so many times, like, you watch the movie and it makes your heart sad because you have to realize this is Maisie's normal.
You feel beat up by the end of this movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, think about this,
Maisie's
though.
normal is not like any
Chaos.
other childhood.
It's chaos.
The normal is mom has people over and it's not a surprise and they've got loud music going
And she's just running through and going out on the
like
balcony
it's no
and
big deal. Like it
And
having a
happens
good time.
even
every
the little
night.
girl that comes over, she's like, "It's okay."
Yeah,
She's like, "Are we supposed to be
crying.
doing this?" And she was like, "It's okay."
Oh, that
Yeah,
broke
we're
my
fine.
heart because
Do whatever we want.
that's a true vision of like what this little Zoe's household looks like, which is probably stable, stable and caring, and she's
And Maisie doesn't
probably-
understand. She's just like, "What is
Maisie's
the deal?"
Why are you crying?
Yeah.
This is normal for me.
Yeah.
Mommy has friends over, and that little girl is like obviously has been taught stranger danger.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
who are these people? Why are they here? Why is it?
And then, the
why
mom
is
and
it
dad come
loud
and pick her up because Julianne Moore's character's like, I don't know how to get her to calm down. Like, I don't know what's going on with her. And so, yeah, parents come over and then they get in an argument about, oh, you guys are drinking, you guys are doing this, that, and the other. And then Julianne Moore slams the door and she's like, well, we're not getting them on our side for the court. And I'm like, geez.
Yeah.
So,
Piece of trash.
yeah.
Yeah, she's trash.
So any final thoughts on what Maisie knew? I know we didn't necessarily go consecutively
That's
throughout
okay.
the movie,
I mean,
but like,
But that's the thing about this movie is the movie kind of jumps around too.
Right.
Like,
It's a little choppy,
You never
but it's
know
okay.
if like a month has passed or if weeks are passed
Right.
or a day has passed because it's
It's a very
Maisie's
chapter.
point of view.
It's like a chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it-
Maisie is a child, and so like her thinking and her experiences are so choppy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're over here doing this.
These are
Now
like
we're over here
core
doing
memories that we're
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
That's what's
it
happening.
was filmed like this. You know what I mean? So
Think about this though. After this movie, and Maisie continues obviously to get older, you think she's going to stay her sweet little self?
No, and that's where I think.
I mean, they have Margot and
That's where I
Lincoln in
think
her life, maybe.
Margot-
I mean,
the kindness that Margot has shown her, and Lincoln too, but I think Margot was it. Margot was
She was
the,
stable.
Margot
Yeah.
was the parent figure.
Yeah.
She was the one giving her patience.
Lincoln was most definitely the fun parent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Lincoln was showing her
Affection.
what a father's love could feel like
Yeah.
and could look like.
Yeah.
A dad sitting down and coloring with her and telling her a little story of, I used to eat paste and I used to
Oh, I
I
forgot
used
about
to
that. That's
color.
funny. Yeah. And she's like, gross. What's wrong with you?
And to like have that experience of just having a normal kid conversation instead of what the conversations with her dad really look like, which is,
You want to go to Italy? Yeah.
Yeah.
or look at Margot. What do you
Yeah.
think? What do you think goes? What's going on in Margot's head? Very flirtatious and everything, and not solely directed on Maisie.
Yeah.
And then, but with Margot's had been there for a while. It seemed like she was very established with the family, and she was very comfortable with Maisie. She had the routine set down. She was playing the mother role, and I think that's vital for Maisie growing up, is having had those situations with Margot of Margot's patient and takes her to a park and lets her play and lets her explore and lets her be a kid. And whereas her mom the whole time would, was get over here, we gotta go do this, we gotta go do that. Two completely different things. So you can only hope for Maisie.
I just see a very dark future for her because
Oh, probably.
Lincoln and Margot are together. What's the obvious next step for them?
Kid.
Kid.
Yeah.
Which is going to what? Push Maisie out because
Maybe.
they're going to have to focus on their own child.
I think that they built those characters up in the movie version well enough that I think that they probably wouldn't do
if
that.
they even
Yeah.
stay together, because the only thing they have in
trauma
common
bonded.
is Maisie.
Yeah.
yeah.
And once
Well,
Mom
I think
comes
at the
back,
end they
takes
had more than
possession
that,
of
but at the
Maisie,
beginning,
Yeah.
yeah.
that whole situation's probably not going to be
I like
super
to think,
stable.
I like to think it's like Yondu said in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm married
He
Papa
may be
Jaw,
that, and he may be your father,
but I'm your daddy.
but I'm your daddy.
But I'm your daddy.
I'm married Papa Jaw.
That's one of the best lines in any MCU movie.
Sure. What is our rating scale, Lee?
Our rating scale is as follows. It is an F through S scale. S being superior in every way.
Yeah.
A being almost faultless, but maybe a minor flaw here or there. B is your above average movie, some complaints, but overall an above average movie. C is your average movie, probably crap, probably all right. You might watch it again, you might not. D is below average, not great, maybe one redeeming quality or two. And then F is just straight trash. And having said that, I give this a B+.
Okay. Nice.
I was
Chelsea?
gonna say I'm gonna give it an A-.
Okay. Why is that?
Oh gosh. I feel like with the cinematography, with the acting, and with the storyline and how they present it with Maisie, pretty impactful. When I watch the movie, I don't typically see a whole lot of things that I'm like, oh, they did that, should have done this. So it's just very, like, the story flows really well. There's not a whole lot of times where you're like super, super bored. Like, you get where the story is going. You understand the subtle things that's happening, and even though Maisie doesn't, as an adult watching it, you can easily pick up on that stuff and know the direction that stuff is headed. So
Okay.
I feel like the storytelling was just so good. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say A-.
I think I'm gonna say the same thing, but the reason that it's not higher for me, I think I'm gonna give it an A-. But the reason it's not higher is rewatchability. I probably won't ever really want to rewatch this movie, unless I'm trying to like watch it with Logan on like, hey, so this is how we
better about
don't,
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how we don't parent. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
this is how you don't want to parent when you're older.
Yeah. So think about whenever you make these decisions, even though you might be thinking this way or that way, think about how your child is gonna, react to these
What
decisions.
is your child seeing? What are they hearing? How
Yeah.
are they cataloging this and their
How are
little
they processing?
brains?
Right.
Yeah.
So even though you're not talking to them, they're still listening. So
Ain't that right, Logan?
you said what? So I'm gonna go A- because again, I think literally everything is top notch. We talked about it earlier. I love the cinematography where all of the shots are from like a 6-year-old's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Everything.
Low
Maisie
angle.
is never not in screen on this movie. You know what I'm saying?
She is the focal point.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
they make sure
Every
you
shot.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
They make sure you know this is about this little girl. This is
Everything
not
else-
about Margot. It's not about Lincoln. It's not about the parents. It's about Maisie. And
Yeah.
they're like, you know it.
Right.
Right.
So Dave.
B plus.
Okay.
Again, rewatchability is my issue with it, and just God, I don't want to watch movies
just
that make
pisses
me
me
feel.
off.
Yeah, I don't like feeling this way. I will say that it is top-notch, superior acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yep.
So
Every
is.
single one,
Yeah.
every single person. Just Julianne Moore just kills her part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at it as
She is as
besides
flawless
hating
in this
her,
movie.
Oh man,
you
hater.
hate her,
Hate her.
but man, she's good.
Yeah.
If someone can make you despise them, then they
In
are
an hour and a half.
They're worth
Yeah.
all the money that they were paid.
Have
for
you ever seen the movie Ever After with Drew Barrymore?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Angelina or
No,
Angelique.
what's her name from?
Angelica.
Angelica Houston.
Houston.
That's right.
To me, is one of the most hated characters of all time. I've never
For sure.
physically hated someone as much as I hated her. But you get that feeling in this movie. Like, you're like, oh my God, you know?
Can't stand her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But bravo. Again, we say we don't recommend it. I will probably never recommend this movie to anyone. So that's why it's on an A on my list.
Yep.
Just because, like, I know people like this, though. I do, like, personally know people like this.
Yeah.
And you get this
I do
frustrated
too.
with them in real life, you know?
Yeah, I would still recommend it to young couples that are going to have children.
Yeah.
I would say you should watch this.
But I mean,
you know,
there's
just
like some preempted, like there's some.
Yeah.
This is not happy. This is not a happy movie. Like I would warn.
I think-
The trailer alone will tell you it's not a happy movie.
I agree with Lee. I think it's one of those movies where if you have to be on the same page with the person that you're going to have a kid with. And this is a great starting point of like...
this is how
wait,
bad it
People
could get.
know there's sacrifice, but people don't
How-
realize how much
exactly.
sacrifice there is.
Yeah.
So are we going to be able to cooperate over a kid and compromise? Or are we going to be like these people and we're going to be shitting on each other to our kid the whole time and dragging her to and from court, causing such a
Yeah.
mess? So yeah, it's this important things to think about. And also with just, I think when we watched it, it was just one of those, oh shit, we've had times when maybe Logan shouldn't have heard certain conversations and it shined a huge light on that for us of like,
I'm
well,
sorry,
shit,
Logan.
now
Give me a hug.
how do
Yeah.
I come across if this movie were
The
what
difference
Logan
is
knew?
the difference
Yeah.
is that you obviously don't act like that every second of the day.
Exactly.
Like
And-
these characters.
Ask
And I
yourself
also
this
wonder,
question.
too,
Would you
like-
ever drop your kid off at a bar without knowing the person you're dropping them off to is even working?
Well, exactly. And so I think another thing too is like through Maisie, even though we saw the worst of her parents, obviously that's not the worst. Those aren't the worst things they've ever done because this is from Maisie's point of view. But through Maisie's point of view, you see those interactions with her mom and that her mom
they're
does
toned
love
down.
her. And
Yeah.
Like obviously she's probably doing drugs and
Yes.
drinking a lot in the
Oh,
party,
absolutely.
but she doesn't seem like it because we're seeing it from Maisie's point of view.
Right.
And
So
it's-
they're partying, but she's like, it's just friends over,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why the little girl's crying. You know, the friend
'Cause
that
she
comes
knows
over,
what's going
she
on.
knows what's happening,
Yeah.
or she at least is like, this is not normal. But through Maisie's point of view, it just is a normal. People are coming over listening to music, and that is not what's happening.
No.
So I mean, all in all, I mean, it's a great movie. It is a
really
good
is.
movie. I've just never
And
watched it again.
The fact
Yeah.
that a movie is so impactful that you don't want to watch it again and it'll always be with you,
Nah,
I think has to count for something.
I think she's-
sometimes you don't need to watch
pushing.
a movie
Pushing for that A-.
multiple times.
I'm okay giving it an A minus altogether.
Yeah. I'm good with the A-. Are you good with the A-, Charles?
All right.
It's
A-
still an
it is.
A. We're right on line with all the other critics.
Yeah.
So,
Right?
It's just such a powerful film, and like,
well, keep ruining people's lives by recommending it.
Actually, I don't really recommend it to anyone. I watched it with my sister years back, and that was something that we really enjoyed watching together. So yeah, it was really good.
I know a lot of people that around the same time that definitely should have watched this film.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
all right.
Well, thank you for
thank
being
you
on
so
number
much.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks for pissing me
Appreciate it.
off.
We'll have to get your sizes to get your jacket for you.
Right. So. All right.
Hey, every once in a while, you guys got to do the indie films. So.
Yeah.
I'm completely okay with the indie films, just
sure.
happier ones.
Right?
Are
The
there,
Way Back
are
is an
there
indie
happy
film.
indie
Yeah.
films?
The Way Back is
Yes.
an indie film.
You ever seen Everything is Illuminated with
Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood? That's an indie film.
This
and it was
might
had a
not be
pretty
the
good ending.
happiest of film, but Lost in Translation I love, and it has fun, happy moments in it.
I'm trying to think of. I feel like I've watched that.
Bill
one.
Murray and Scarlett Johansson.
He plays
Well,
a.
they're in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
There's a great scene where one other guy that's from like a neighboring country, and he's trying to get medicine to his father.
Yeah.
But all he has to do is like read through all of these boring procedural pamphlets, and so he's like, "It's for your goat, right? It's for your goat. Yes, my goat." Anyway, thank you so much for coming
All
on
right.
the podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Oi, oi.
Till
Oi,
next
oi.
time.
Later.